Everyone wants to grow. Grow, grow, grow. But is there only one way to grow? We all think there is only one way we can grow by becoming bigger and bigger and bigger just the way we are. But look around us. How does an oak tree grow? How does a honeycomb grow? How do viruses grow? Nature has found many different ways of growing. Why can't companies have many different ways of growing? Let's look at a few of them. Not all, of course. The first and most common one is your regular oak tree. The oak tree grows by accretion, by adding more and more and more layers to itself, essentially becoming bigger and bigger, but essentially the same as what it was before. We can add markets, we can add products, and all around the same core that we have without changing the basic architecture. So what does it take to grow like that? This is what we normally think of as growth. Obviously, it takes a strong trunk, a strong sense of core, great clarity on what our business really is, and the ability to maintain that core with solid processes and so on, which will ensure that the company remains stable no matter what its size. Consider the banyan tree. The banyan tree is completely different the way it grows. The banyan tree grows by creating a number of essentially daughter trees which begin by being different from the mother tree, but eventually they cannot be distinguished from each other. Each tree is self-sustaining, yet it is bound to the mother tree and to its siblings and always ready to spread out again. Can a company do this? What you need to do is create self-sustaining businesses over time and yet retain a strong sense of connectedness. Companies like GE, companies like Matsushita, they have done this. Essentially what you need is a strong sense of shared values, possibly even shared business planning processes, strategy processes, HR processes, and a strong commitment to support each spin-off with whatever nourishment is needed until it stabilizes. Will that work? It will work in an environment where there are always new opportunities which are not actually related to each other but can be part of a common umbrella brand. The third model would be looking at a beehive. If you look at a beehive, or an anthill for that matter, each individual does not have any intelligence really, but collectively they are tremendously intelligent. Where in business do we see this kind of model? I would say we see this in, sad to say, but in every terrorist organization. For instance, Al-Qaeda probably has it. If you look at the Dabbawalas of Mumbai, I think we have this, where every person doesn't necessarily know much beyond what they're doing that moment, but the organization as a whole knows a lot. I would even say that all consulting companies are like that. McKinsey as an organization has much more capability and knowledge than any individual consultant has. The key to creating a beehive really in an organization, not a beehive, beehives don't need this, is to have a very strong knowledge management system. I don't mean a database. I mean a system where everybody gets to learn what everybody else is doing and in a way that is useful to them and directly applicable to their work. The head of the organization, like the queen bee, need not really be very active, but she needs to be very symbolic. The CEO should be like a queen bee. Never really out on the battlefront, but a good figurehead, a symbol, a role model, and everyone should look up to her. The fourth model that comes to mind, especially nowadays in these times of corona and everything else, are viruses. How do viruses grow? They grow by multiplying at a dizzying speed. How do they do this? Well, they do this because every virus creates a set of simple copies of itself and does it at an astonishing speed. The simplicity is an important part of why it is able to multiply so fast. Can a business organization ever be like that? I think an organization that operates through, say, partners or channels which it creates all across the globe could be a way to be like a virus. Another and two more models that I can think of. One is the tornado. What does a tornado do? A tornado picks up everything in its path and becomes more and more powerful as it rolls along. Do companies do that? Yes, if you keep acquiring companies and every company adds to your strength, it is something that really is what a tornado does. It may not be very comfortable to be swept up by a tornado, but remember, Dorothy did get to the land of Oz that way, right? So it does succeed, but it can't stop. If it stops, it's gone. So it has to keep going. A similar organization model, growth by essentially picking up other companies, could be nuclear fusion. Nuclear fusion obviously is a model where two molecules get together or two atoms get together to create something much more powerful than the two separately. Any good acquisition should be like that. A merger should be like that. A merger of equals, which is not very common these days, could create an entity which is bigger and more powerful than either of them. That is a nuclear fusion model. Obviously, each of these requires a different capability. So choose your model, then figure out what capability you need and build that. A tornado doesn't need the same capability as a virus. A virus doesn't need the same capability as nuclear fusion. They all need different capabilities, and we need to figure those out.